Good morning, dear students. Hope all are ready for the class. Today we are going to discuss a new topic, that is thalassemia. It's very familiar for all of you because you have studied this particular topic in second year, I think, and we will be discussing about the pediatric importance, pediatric aspects of thalassemia also. So, what is the meaning of thalassemia? First, we can see the meaning. So, it is also originated from Greek word like anemia. It is also originated from an ancient Greek word that is thalassa. That means sea. So, what is the connection of a blood disorder with a sea? So, during the earlier periods when this particular disease was first described, it was found majority of people who were living in the near side of Mediterranean Sea. So it was refers to those people living near the Mediterranean Sea who have the highest incidence of the disease. So namely Italians, Greeks and Syrians. And among them it was first diagnosed. So during that time they thought that living near to sea is one of the factor which is or the reason for getting this disease. So that is the reason why this name is given for thalassemia. And other names which we use to describe the same disease is Cooley's anemia, Mediterranean anemia, etc. So we can see some more history about thalassemia. It was first described by Cooley in 1924. So that's why it is known as Cooley's anemia. And during that time, he described thalassemia as a hereditary hemolytic anemia with characteristic frog-like mangaloid facies, skeletal changes and splenomegaly. So during that time itself, he identified that it is a hereditary pattern as there in the etiology, and it is a type of hemolytic anemia, and there is some specific characteristic or appearance for the person with the thalassemia. This is what happened regarding the history of thalassemia. Next we can see what is thalassemia, the definition. Thalassemia is applied to a variety of inherited blood disorders characterized by the deficiencies in the rate of production of specific globin chains of hemoglobin. So, it is an inherited blood disorder. So, from parents to offsprings, the disease is spreading. And here, the characteristic feature of this disease is that the hemoglobin chains, the chains of hemoglobin, globin chains of hemoglobin, as some deficiencies are occurring, and that is the reason for thalassemia. So we can see some more definitions. That is, it is a hereditary hemolytic blood disorder. It is characterized by deficiencies in the rate of production, synthesis of normal globin in hemoglobin, and we can add a point, that is, it is an autosomal recessive disorder. So it is affecting the recessive chromosomes. Next we can see regarding the incidence of thalassemia. In general population we can see the disease nearly 2 to 6%. Nearly 6,000 to 8,000 thalassemic children are born every year in India, and hence there are over 1 lakh children with thalassemia in country. They are living with this condition. More than 1 lakh children are presently living in our country with thalassemia. Next we can see the classification of thalassemia. According to hemoglobin chain affected and by the amount of globin chain that is synthesized, we can classify this thalassemia. So if alpha chain is affected, then the thalassemia is named as alpha thalassemia, and beta thalassemia, it is the most common form, and it is affecting the beta globin chain of hemoglobin. So we will be discussing further the classification of beta thalassemia and the manifestations of beta thalassemia, because it is very common and it is very commonly seen in children. So beta thalassemia occur in 4 forms. Mainly there are 4 forms. They are thalassemia minor, thalassemia trait, thalassemia intermedia, thalassemia major. So generally we can classify into heterozygous form and homozygous form. Heterozygous form means there is a dominant chromosome and recessive chromosome, and the recessive is affected. That is thalassemia minor and thalassemia trait. In both, the dominant features are there and the recessive gene is affected with the thalassemia. So the manifestations will be minimum or it will be minor. When we are talking about a homozygous beta thalassemia or thalassemia intermedia and thalassemia major, here dominant gene is absent and both chromosomes are recessive. So there will be 100% the manifestations will be presented by the patient. In heterozygous form, the person may be in a carrier state with minor manifestation. So this is about the beta thalassemia. There are major 4 forms, 2 in heterozygous and 2 in homozygous forms. Hope you understood the explanation. Next we can see thalassemia minor, what each one or how we can explain each forms of beta thalassemia. So regarding thalassemia minor, generally asymptomatic silent carrier state, because it is affected in the recessive gene of the patient. So when the person is affected with thalassemia minor, the person will be in a silent carrier state and produce both defective and normal hemoglobin. So he has the capacity to develop defective hemoglobin and the normal hemoglobin. So because of the presence of normal hemoglobin, the person may not be that much symptomatic. The RBC count will be normal, but the hemoglobin concentration will be below normal levels. And the children may have no symptoms other than pallor. There will be a slight pallor, slight manifestations of anemia, slight amount of growth retardation. These all can be present, but there may not be that much significant noticeable manifestations of thalassemia. They require no treatment and life expectancy is normal. They can have a good diet and they can manage properly. There is no need of any specific treatment for thalassemia minor. Next is thalassemia trait. So this is also coming under the heterozygous form of beta thalassemia. So here also the person is with recessive gene and dominant gene which is normal. Recessive gene is affected and dominant gene is normal. So that's again the person will be in a carrier state and can have some more manifestations of than thalassemia minor, like mild microcytic anemia can be seen in the blood examination. That is about the thalassemia trait. And the third one is thalassemia intermedia. Here the problem is little more severe comparing to the heterozygous forms. Here it is a homozygous form, that is both chromosomes are recessive affected chromosomes. So here the person will be manifested as splenomegaly and moderate to severe anemia. There can be moderate to severe anemia and there will be splenomegaly. And the last one, and this is the major, in the name itself it's very clear, thalassemia major. So the manifestations, the disease aspects will be very important and management is very important here. And thalassemia major is otherwise known as Cooley's anemia. and it is associated with absent beta gene synthesis. Here the problem is, in the previous area we can see that there is a production of abnormal gene, abnormal globin chain and the normal globin chain. So there will be normal hemoglobin and abnormal hemoglobin. That's the reason why the manifestations were minimum. But in thalassemia major, the person is not able to produce beta chain, or there is no or absent beta chain synthesis happens, which results in severe anemia that would lead to cardiac failure and death in early childhood without transfusion support. So the person will be with a severe anemia. So early diagnosis is important and management is also very important in order to prevent the complications like cardiac failure and death in early childhood. So this is about the classification of thalassemia. So we have seen that based on the chain affected, we can have the classification like alpha chain or alpha thalassemia, beta chain it is affected, beta thalassemia. And when we are talking about beta thalassemia, there are mainly 4 types or 4 forms of thalassemia, that are thalassemia minor, thalassemia trait, thalassemia major and thalassemia intermedia. So that is about the classification. So regarding the etiology, it is very clear, it is a genetic disorder. It is an autosomal recessive disorder and it can be in 2 forms, that is homozygous forms and heterozygous forms. So homozygous forms, the recessive genes are only present, that is 2 chromosomes are affected. Heterozygous means that is 1 dominant and 1 recessive. The recessive is only affected and the dominant will be suppressing the manifestations which is presented by the recessive gene. So this is about the genetic disorder or etiology of thalassemia. And some more additions on thalassemia trait. So that is like the black color area is the affected area, or we can say that when the mother carrier and the father carrier marries, there is a chance of getting 25% of chance of getting a thalassemia major trait, and there will be 50% of getting intermedia thalassemia trait, and there is 25, that is carrier stage can be there, that is heterozygous forms can be there, and 25% of getting unaffected children. So when the father and mother are carrier in the heterozygous trait or heterozygous forms, one chance is 25% to get fully affected children, 50% of getting carrier state, that is thalassemia minor and trait, then there is chance of getting 25% of chance of getting unaffected children. So 25% affected, 50% carrier and 25% unaffected children. So this is the thalassemia trait, and we will discuss in the next video regarding the pathophysiology and other details of thalassemia. Thank you. I am stopping here now and we will continue in the next session.